I was burning the fuel of fear and desperation and anger. And those are powerful energies to use, but they're very short lived. And I needed to find something else. So I actually prayed and I was just like, I want to build a new foundation on love where I'm not running from anything, but I'm being pulled towards a greater vision. And in that moment, everything crumbled. I mean, everything I thought I built, everything that I thought I had. And it's like now I'm witnessing the restructure of a new foundation, and it's not always comfortable. It's a little wobbly. I'm still learning. So to answer that question, I recently hit that place of like, I've done like, this is enough because I can't pour from an empty cup. And if I'm going to give my life to this mission, I have to burn a better fuel, a more efficient fuel, and love and passion and collaboration is what I'm finding the greatest energy to use to build this.
Welcome to the What If You Could podcast. I'm your host, Gary Scott, and today my wonderful guest, who now she's feeling relaxed and calm after running, is Dr. Harrell. Hello, Crystal.
Hey, Gary.
How are you?
Better now that I'm home and I'm in
Uh,
this relaxing environment.
Yay, we almost did this from your car.
I know. I was so rushed. I'm so sorry.
No. I just, you're You are too important. The topic is too important. You're too special to do this from a phone in your car. So I would have waited forever to make sure we did this properly. So
Don't
I'm
make me
so
cry.
glad you're home. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute, man. I love you, man.
We just got started.
All right, everybody. See ya. Thanks for that's it. That's all we got. Um, well, Crystal, like I threatened earlier, before we got on here, because with the What If You Could podcast, I like to start my questions right out the gate is Crystal, what is your what if you could?
I would say, what if you could create a community that supports the mental and emotional health of students
Wow.
across the
You
globe?
know, that's a topic that is super near and dear to my heart. I mean, I don't know how many times I've beaten the drum on. We're losing an entire generation. It's the most bizarre thing, isn't it?
It's insane. I was studying this for my doctorate, and I found out that suicide is the second leading cause of death among college students, and I was blown away, completely floored. Yeah.
It's a statistic that it takes a minute to digest. You
Yes.
think, how in the most prosperous country, one of the most free countries, one of the most open countries in the world, yet we're losing people to suicide, young people to suicide. How have we screwed up so bad?
There's so much as someone who faced that part of my journey. In 2018, I was looking for answers, and what I found was that there's this extreme feeling of just hopelessness and isolation. And so that's why the community piece was so important because I found out like once I started talking about what I was experiencing as a first gen student and the stress, the burnout, the anxiety, everything that was just there from transitioning from, being a teenager to a young adult, like that demographic, young adulthood, has the worst mental and emotional health outcomes across any demographic in the United States, and they have the least amount of support. There's not even a government office dedicated to young adult mental health and well-being. So everything that I'm doing is in that direction. It's a big jump, I know, but I can't live my life knowing what I went through and knowing what so many other students are going through and just use my education to serve myself. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm going to try or I'm going to die trying. It's just how I feel.
Well, you and I know that darkness, right? You and I know that hole of darkness, right, that you go
Yes.
into. It's so lonely, and
Yeah.
here we are, supposedly the most connected society in the history of the world, the most connected generation in the history of the
Yeah.
world, with these phones and social media. Yet we're so lonely because
Yeah.
the what we're projecting out there is just a mask. It's just bullshit, right? And inside, it's like the suffering is. is horrible.
Yes. I mean, being connected on social media doesn't equate to having social connection, which is a whole another subject.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. We could go that. I mean, but when you look at you, when you
Mm.
look at a number one best-selling author, motivational speaker, certified mindfulness-based stress reduction instructor, your history of how you achieved so much,
Mm.
um, yet you had some deep, dark struggles too, didn't you?
Worst. Yeah, I almost didn't make it on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah. So what brought you? You said you had an awakening in what,
Mm.
2018?
Yes.
Um, what what was the what did it for you? Because like you said, a lot of people don't. I almost didn't. If I didn't have my two boys after I lost my
Mm.
wife, I would have said, "I'm out of here. I got nothing to. Why would I hang around here, right?"
Yeah.
But I had my two sons to look at. So what was that for you? What were you able to hold on to pull yourself out of that darkness?
I've never actually spoken about it publicly, like, on a podcast before. So I may stumble over my words a bit, but I will say, like, I don't have any children yet. I'm not married. Have my 9 siblings and my mom, but, like, the amount of pain that I was in was just blocking all of that love and connection out. I just kept feeling the pain of feeling like my birth was a mistake. And when I lost my dad when I was 11, my only support system to leukemia, and I walked into the church and saw, him lying there in a casket, and my 11-year-old brain was trying to figure out what did I do wrong to cause him to
Mm,
leave. And just like that, all of that weight and all the chaos that happened after losing a support figure, emotionally, financially, every type of support. Like my dad was my hero in my eyes. He was like, he could do no wrong. And so I was very much a daddy's girl, and so every day I was with him, and then one day he was just gone. And so I would say from 11 until that time when I was 23 in 2018, I was looking for answers, and no matter how many degrees I achieved, no matter how much I researched and searched in public health and journals and books trying to find the answer, thing filled that void that I had in my heart when he left. And so at that point in my life, I was like, I don't have to be here. And the pain was so deep that I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna, you know, do whatever I need to do to not be here. And when I woke up the next morning and, I was still there, I had a thought. And that thought was simply, I wish I didn't wake up. And I saw that thought go across my mind, across my awareness like a train passing on the tracks, and I was like,
mm.
"Whoa, how can I watch that thought and that be me?" Because if I'm sitting here and I'm watching this thought, that means that thought is not me, which means that is not a part of me, which means there's a deeper awareness within me. And Eckhart Tolle and his work is where I started to find the answers. And he went through a very similar awakening of seeing his thoughts and seeing himself separate from this thinking, egoic mind. And from that moment when I saw that that thought was not me, I had a flash of my inner child and I saw her light. I saw her smile and her joy and her connection to life when my dad was still here. And I briefly thought, is it possible to get back to her? And so that started this now 8-year journey, I believe. Yeah, 8-year journey to figuring out if I can get back to her, and her light has become me. So I think sometimes the people with the most light have experienced the most darkness, and I wanted to get to a place where I felt better about myself. And I'm not 100% healed, but I feel better about being here, which is most important. So,
Okay, well, I'm gonna need a second for these massive goosebumps to leave my body so I can talk, because I've got like goose chills all over my body. Oh, I'll tell you what, I know, there's that time where you go, it would feel so much better if I was just not here,
yeah,
because nothing else will stop the pain. There's not enough
yeah,
drugs, there's not enough alcohol, there's not enough dating, there's not enough anything. Nothing will get rid of this pain.
mm,
And then you had a little friend appear, and your friend said, "That's not you.
yeah,
You're okay. That's not you."
mm,
Because our thoughts, what you said is just so good. Thoughts are not us. Thoughts are just things. Thoughts are not us. We are not our thoughts.
Mhm.
but they're so wicked, right? They're so strong.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I think of Spider-Man, he just like sends out a web and grabs another thought and throws that evil thing in your head and wraps it
Mm,
around. It's like, I can't get this thing off my head. But from
yes.
what you said earlier too, is having a community where people can reach out who are in that, because so many people are in that, aren't they?
Yes. And
How
when
do we
you're
do it?
young, I don't know. This is Gary, this is what I'm trying to figure out. I've been throwing spaghetti at the wall until something sticks because I'm not giving up on this issue until suicide is not on the list of mortality among young adults in our nation. I'm not stopping. So whatever team I have to form, the Avengers team, whatever we have to do, whatever platform we have to build, I'm willing to do it. But I can't do it by myself. And so that's why I do podcasts and I write books and I talk about it openly. I'm just getting better at talking about my journey, the part that people didn't see on social media when I was, climbing the ladder of academia and going through all of that. There was a darker side of it. And I think that's equally as important to speak about.
Yeah. Well, you do so much. I mean, it's tough to do it all. Plus, we talked about you in uniform. When I saw you in uniform, I'm like, she's in a uniform. So I mean, literally, there's only 24 hours a day. There's only so much you can do. We have to eat, we have to live, we have to sleep, we have to pay our bills and things like that. Where do we go? How do we build this community? It's not like there's a lack of money, right? For crying out
Right.
loud, this we have like a quadrillion dollars.
Mm,
It's not the lack of money. We give $24 billion for California. We give how many other billions to all these states and all this stuff, and nothing gets done.
yeah. The way I see it is like, think about the things you've spent money on or you've invested in. Everything that you've spent money on, you felt like that thing or that experience would change your life or improve your life. You found value in what you were investing in. I don't think that we have discovered the value in investing in a program or a community like this because I mean, think about it. For the generation before me, this was totally normal. Being stressed out, being anxious, having, suicidal ideation in college. Like that was like, okay, yeah, of course, you're a stressed out college student. That was the norm. But what this generation is seeing now is like, actually, this is not normal because we're seeing these side effects. Like suicide is a symptom. It's not the root cause. It's the end result. And so until we are able or willing to address the root cause of this like it's so much I could say about that, but until we're willing to address the root cause of it, nothing is ever gonna change, but we have to articulate the value and why it's important to look at this.
I'm gonna step back just a little bit. You said you had 9 siblings.
Yeah.
How many bathrooms did you have in your house?
I grew up in a very tiny public housing apartment in rural Alabama. I was sleeping 3 to a room,
Mm.
2 bedrooms, we didn't have a lot.
So that touches on one of my other favorite topics is exposure.
Yeah,
I love to talk to people who started out a little bit rough like you guys did.
yeah,
Parents doing the best they can. Your dad was your hero, right?
yeah.
Um, Yet there's a lack of exposure in a lot of these communities, right? So how were you able to achieve so much that you have? I mean, you look at your bio, you've just, achieved so much. How are you able to do that? Are your other siblings, have they been able to really climb out of where they are?
So I'll answer the first part about the how. The vision was planted like within me as a child, like as young as I can remember. Like I was very sensitive as a child. I was very aware. I thought it was a curse, to be honest, because I felt everything so deeply, and that made me an easy target because, of course, I cried easily too. And so I always thought my sensitivity or my hypersensitivity was a curse. And it wasn't until I got older that I realized that that sensitivity was the very thing that helped me cling onto that vision of me having a better life for myself. And my dad would always say growing up, like, education is something no one could take away from you, that BB King quote. And I believed him because he was always reading. Like, he was a huge reader. Like, those bookshelves behind you, he had the same thing. Like, he had books and books and books of bookshelves. And I thought I wanted to be like that. I wanted to be, you know, educated. I wanted to be informed because every time I would learn something, I felt this power within me grow. It's like, yeah, I know how to write my name. I know how to read this word. It was like empowering to me. So that vision of going to school and going to college was in me since I was young enough to remember. Did I see Ivy League doctorate at that time? No, I couldn't have. I couldn't dream that big. But as you walk the way appears, which is a quote by Rumi. So it was like every step I took toward my passion, which was education, got me closer to this vision that I see now. So, yeah.
Love Rumi. But it is a challenge though, isn't it? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it is a challenge. I mean, you can have that in you. You could
Mhm.
dream of that and still end up just not getting there. There's got to be something inside you. Maybe that little inner girl has been there visiting you more than once.
Don't make me cry, Gary. I promise you I'll cry you today. I
Are you a
already told
Virgo?
you.
Are you a Virgo empath? You must be a Virgo empath. I don't know. You've got
I just saw Virgo somewhere on my chart. I know I'm an Aquarius with a Taurus moon, and I'm a Scorpio North Node with a Libra rising. I'm still learning all this stuff, but
wow. That's the craziest chart. Holy crap.
and I just found out and I just found out about this one asteroid called Os it's something. It's like Oscura or something like this, but it's basically the asteroid that governs like why you're here. So the soul contract, because I watched like over 100 near death experiences, and all of them talk about that soul contract that you have before you come incarnate into this world. And I like this asteroid kind of brings you face to face with that. And mine was always about visibility because it's in the 10th house and it's a Leo sign. And I hated being visible because it made me an easy target. So like so there's a lot of opposition.
Well, it's pretty tough for you to not be visible when you're doing TEDx talks. You're a best-selling author, you're a speaker,
Because I love it.
what you've done through education, it's like you kind of stick out a little bit.
Well, it's because I love those things. I always wanted to be a TEDx speaker. I have always loved education. Like, so those are things that I love doing. It just so happened that when I was in those spaces, the opportunities to do more of that appeared. And so my heart naturally said yes. Even though I was dealing with so much darkness, I was still willing to, go after my dreams. And so I can see why you say that. Like, yeah, I guess in this way, I never thought of it like that. Like, why do people keep trying to talk to me?
Well, if you're at a book signing, they're going to want to talk to you to sign your book.
Yeah.
Well, you have three books, right? You've got the best-selling book Crystal Clear.
Yeah.
You have the butterfly book, and you have a children's book too.
Yeah. The children's book was from my papa. I wrote that in honor of him. So it teaches the impact of parental, like, emotional support on children at a young age, and my dad was every bit of that. He saw my light and he nurtured it. He didn't make me try to be anyone else but myself. And as you can imagine, like, having 9 siblings, you can get compared a lot, but he never did that. Like, no, he never made me do anything I didn't wanna do as far as my art and my creative gifts. And I appreciate that about him.
How did he have time?
My dad was real chill, man. Like, my dad was like, every time I would come home from school, he would just be in the bed reading a book with his leg up and the whole Malcolm X kind of thing on his temple, like contemplating. He listened to music, so I have part of his vinyl collection now on my bookshelf.
That's awesome.
Like, he was just chill, he was present, and that was the way I experienced love. And so for me, the greatest act of love I can give someone is my presence because that's how I experienced it. So he was there. He was a present father. So he was always there. Yeah.
Well, that's why I love the term "your presence is your gift,"
Yeah.
right? Because presence, giving someone a present or your
Yeah.
presence is really your ultimate gift. And in today's world, I mean, like you go to a restaurant, you have a family of four sitting there, mom, dad, and the kids, and they're all on their phone like
Mhm.
this. They don't talk to each other. People have like milliseconds with each other. Wives don't talk to husbands. Families, mother and dad don't talk to their kids. It's a rush, 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 go, go, go. And when they do have free time, they're on this thing. We we don't have presence with each other anymore, and that may have something to do with this loneliness factor, the suicide factor.
Gary, I love the way your mind works because that's a very beautiful, like, I never put that together.
My mind's a scary place to be, my friend. They don't want to go there.
So it's
But
very good
don't you
at
think
forming
so?
patterns.
But don't you think so? I mean,
Oh,
really,
yeah.
it's like you and I are connecting now. It's a
Yeah.
miracle that we can, you're in Virginia and I'm in California, and we can
Yeah.
connect now. I've spoken to people in India, Thailand, Australia, New Zealand, Europe. I mean, literally all over the world. I've talked to people. It's bizarre. I get off a call and it'll be like, it will laugh because I'm like, you're like 2 days in the future. That is so bizarre. What are the lotto winners? What are the lotto tickets? Um, but we have this gift, yet it's almost a curse at the same time because we
Yeah.
feel so connected.
Yeah.
We feel presence. But really, we're just searching for a like, a hands up, a smiley face, or whatever. But behind that, I think there's a real desperate need for connection.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%. I think it's just learning how to first connect with ourselves. And what do most people do when they want to disassociate? They get on social media. So you're dealing with people who are running from themselves. And I'm no stranger to that. Like sometimes after a hard day, a long day of work, I just want to like spend a couple of hours on social media, not thinking about anything. But at the same time, I'm aware that that's keeping me from really connecting with myself in a deeper way. And so I'm always thinking like, how can I limit the amount of time I'm spending online? Because in some way it does serve a purpose. Like this podcast episode would go out online. Someone will listen to it online and maybe they'll get something from it. And so it has a place. It's just I'm still learning how to balance what place it has in my life.
Well, you're not doing a good job of it, my friend, because you're doing as you're doing so much stuff as I got to do.
I know.
Tell me about the certified mindfulness based stress reduction
Mm,
instructor. Tell me
yes.
about that, because Lord, do we need more stress reduction?
I so I got that during my I want to say the end of my second year at Yale when I was studying for my PhD in public health, and I was looking at the impact of perceived stress on young adult mental health. And so that course and that certification felt very relevant for me. Like, okay, if I'm studying stress, I probably should try to figure out how to manage it. And again, I was stressed out myself. So I was like, yeah, let's do this. And what I got from that course, it was an 8-week course taught by two instructors in the school in the Yale Health Department. And we basically every week would get on and they would teach us different modalities to use to come back to our bodies. Because a lot of the times when you're stressed, you disassociate or you kind of like your awareness is outside of you, is external because your body's trying to figure out, the fight or flight response, basically. Um, and so that course allowed me to learn how to come back to my body so that I can teach it to others. So we learned about things like a body scan, which is like having your awareness starting at the bottom of your feet and then just bringing it slowly up. Slowly, there's no rush, becoming aware of your kneecaps and then aware of your thighs. And so it's like this whole experience. And then some of it was just like sitting meditation. So there's different ways to practice mindfulness. I always say mindfulness is not a practice, it's a way of being. Thich Nhat Hanh, he wrote a lot of good books on that. One of them, the one I first read was Peace is Every Step. And that book changed my life because it talked about how to use washing dishes as a mindfulness practice. Like, oh, peace is every step.
Peace in every step.
Is every
Uh,
step.
Oh, okay. Oh, I
Mhm.
love that.
I
Oh,
know
yeah.
it's a strange title, but it's a good book.
I love it. Yeah, and I love to wash dishes, so I find things like that meditative. Like I love to cook. There's something about the process of cooking. When I used to drink, I don't know why I stopped. I guess because my wife doesn't drink. I got my new wife, and if you don't drink, I won't drink. Bad
Yeah,
decision on my part. But I'd open up a bottle of wine, I'd have my red
yeah,
wine, and I'd start prepping the food. And then when it was ready, everyone was ready, I would start cooking. And it's such um, a beautiful process for me, and I'm the type of guy who cleans as I cook because I don't like a dirty kitchen. When I'm all done, I got to eat, right? I want it
yeah,
so we could sit down and I'm not worried about the kitchen. So I cook, so I wash dishes and stuff like. but it's a very meditative thing. And
Mm,
like you said, you could find pretty much any different way that will bring you back to yourself to kind
yes.
of heal yourself and give you that peace. Even
Yeah,
if it's for a moment, right? You need to find some peace within yourself.
absolutely. That's everything. That's it. Thank you. That's the podcast.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See you later. It's been fun. Love ya. Subscribe, right? Like, what?
That's honestly, Gary, like that's the thing. It's peace. It's what everyone is searching for is peace of mind. Peace from mind, really, because like you mentioned with the thoughts, like it drives some people insane. And I'll never get to speak with my dad and know, some of the things he was dealing with. I mean, he was drafted during the Vietnam War. He never spoke about his time in the war. He never spoke about his childhood. I only learned from his sisters that it was really rough. And so I always felt like my dad was the type of person that was like, okay, because I had it so hard as a child, I want to make sure my children never have to go through what I went through. His parents weren't there for him the way that he expected them to be, and especially his dad. So I think that my dad really took that and wanted to turn it into something positive. But again, he never spoke about it. So I won't know. This is just speculation.
Yeah. I just have to repeat something you said that I love so much.
Mm,
Peace from mind, not
mm,
just peace of mind.
yeah,
Because for me, my mind never shuts up. It's like, dude, would you just please shut up, right? It's like, I know when I was 7, I said something stupid, but that was like 80 years ago, bro. Let it go.
yeah,
Peace, peace from mind. We really need to help our mind get into a quiet space so we can grab some peace. But, for your
yeah,
father, um, what a tough time, man.
yeah,
Vietnam War, civil rights movement, Bobby's getting killed, Kennedy's getting killed, Martin Luther King's getting killed.
yeah.
You think we're pretty freaked out now as a country. I mean, imagine these guys are coming back from Vietnam in one of the worst wars we've ever had. That jungle stuff was crazy. They're getting spit on. People are hating on them. I mean,
Agent
it was
Orange.
like Agent Orange. Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah.
let's talk about your own country just dropping this poison on you so you can get rid of jungles. It's like, hey, man,
You
I'm
know what's
down here. All right.
Well, it's crazy, Gary, because I found out after taking this position that my dad, one of the cancer that my dad died from, which was multiple myeloma, was on the list of cancers associated with Agent Orange exposure. So then I pulled all his military records and I found out that he was at 3 of the bases where they were doing testing on like in the homeland. And so he was exposed to those toxins during his time. I don't know if he knew that. I know he was very angry about that experience. But again, finding that was like a full circle moment for me because I knew that something was wrong as a child at 11, seeing him lying there in the castle. I'm like, this is not right. Like something is off. And just going on that quest of trying to find answers, and then you get the answer and it may not be what you thought you were looking for, and it's hard when you figure out that. But because I know now my family can, do what they need to do in order to get, survivor benefits and stuff like this. So it's like that information came at the time it was meant to come up, but it was still hard to process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, there finally is a big pool. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's a big pool, but I mean, I think they're finally waking up to the fact that they need to support the families whose warrior went through this, and it's
Yeah.
such a wicked time. And
Yeah.
for your father to be so thoughtful and so giving and so attentive to you, knowing he was holding on to a lot of anger and a lot of bitterness over, rightfully so. I mean, to the treatment of what we did. We sent these guys over there for no reason whatsoever. It was just the most
No.
bullshit thing. And
Yes.
then we put him in harm's way, we poisoned him, and then when we brought him back, we abused him. It's like, dude, is there anything else you'd like me to do for you guys? Right? It's like I kind of given you everything, and then we just forget about him. I
Yeah.
was in DC visiting my son. Like I said, he's at Andrews Air Force Base, and every time I'm in DC, I go down to the monuments. I don't care how many times I've seen him. And this time, there was a couple buses where they dropped off World War II, which there weren't many, and Vietnam and Korean. uh, veterans so that they can go through, many of them for the first time in their lives, the memorials to their wars that they were in. And I swear, I'm just like,
Mm,
I'm totally like, I could cry now. Think about it. I'm
yeah,
hugging these guys. I'm crying. I'm like, dude, I mean, if you only knew how much the majority of us appreciate what you sacrificed, right?
mm,
But these guys were freaking old. I forgot how old Korean War veterans are, and
yeah,
there's a couple World War II guys there that, 100-year-old dudes. And it's like,
that's insane.
but it's horrible what happened. But
Mm,
your dad, it's amazing how well he overcome. Just talk about mental health. A lot of these guys did not get through it.
no, they did not.
When you talk about what you were able to do
Mm.
with your public health and now with your journey to the mental health and to try to get this, at what point can you say, I can only do so much? I mean, do you get to the point where the frustration's like, I can only stink and do so much? Where do you turn when that happens?
I think I recently hit that after graduating. Like, I hit a wall. Like, I lost pretty much everything. I didn't have a car, I didn't have a place to stay. I was living with my sister for, like, a year after I quit my corporate job. Like, I had nothing. I had nothing to my name, and it was in that moment where I realized, like, I can't do that anymore. I was burning the fuel of fear and desperation and anger, and those are powerful energies to use, but they're very short lived. And I needed to find something else. So I actually prayed and I was just like, I want to build a new foundation on love where I'm not running from anything, but I'm being pulled towards a greater vision. And in that moment, everything crumbled. I mean, everything I thought I built, everything that I thought I had. And it's like now I'm witnessing the restructure of a new foundation, and it's not always comfortable. It's a little wobbly. I'm still learning. So to answer that question, I recently hit that place of like, I've done, like, this is enough because I can't pour from an empty cup. And if I'm going to give my life to this mission, I have to burn a better fuel, a more efficient fuel, and love and passion and collaboration is what I'm finding the greatest energy to use to build this.
All right, now we can go. That wasn't the most powerful freaking thing I've ever heard. I'm just sitting there going, wow, that's freaking huge right there.
It's like, why is he quiet? Oh, did I say something wrong?
All right, everybody. Good night. We'll see you later. Holy shingalinga. Wow, that's powerful. To be able to verbalize that,
Mm,
it's not easy, because you are
mm,
here you are, so many people look up and say, man, this, that, and the other thing about
mm.
Crystal, right? She's so this, she's so that, she's amazing, she's got all this. And you can come out and say, no, man, you know, that's not where it is. It's
Yeah,
so powerful, Crystal. I mean, but that's the only way you heal.
yeah,
Sometimes you gotta just burn it all down. That's the only way and rise out of the ashes, right? But that when you said fuel of fear and anger, I'm like, oh, that's powerful stuff. So I mean, again, you once again are able to grab yourself and continue to move forward. Not get through because like you said, you're still going through it, but
yeah.
to keep moving forward.
Mm.
It's wicked tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of the hardest things I've ever witnessed in my entire adult life. Writing a dissertation was nothing compared to this. This is like next level adulthood stuff because like you said, I'm being forced to like confront my agenda, my intention, and if it's not built on integrity, it will fall. And we're witnessing that at even a structural level, like society, like it's universal law. Like you can't build on chaos. And I was trying to build on chaos and it wasn't working. It looked good, but just because it was shiny doesn't mean that it was. But now, Gary, like I can use all of that. Like I still have my degree, I still have my education, I still have my passion for education and student support and student wellness. I still have everything that was in me from the beginning, but now it's different because I can use it in a different way. It's the same thing.
Yeah. What do you wanna do with it? I mean, if you like I said, what if you could? You
Yeah.
know, I ask people usually I ask myself, "Dude," I say, "Hey, dude," to myself sometimes. If if it could all just stop
Mm,
and I could just do which technically I can. I mean, we could stop and do whatever we want, but the world still spins and you still have
mm,
responsibilities and stuff. But if I could just do anything I wanted to do, what would it be that would heal me, you
mhm,
know? And I think it's this, it's my grief coaching, it's my talking to amazing people like you. I think I've found because I'm a real estate broker. My son and I have a real estate company. I've been a real estate broker for 35 years. But real estate is
amazing.
so different now. When I first started, I worked with first-time home buyers and they were so excited to get their first home and it was such a different thing. Now it's a bitter exchange of how much money can I get or what'll this be worth next week? And, I need to battle on every damn thing. I'm like, dude, it's your home. You're
Yeah.
trying to buy a home. You don't need to beat the crap out of everything. It's like, so
Mm.
for you, if you could just stop the world and just focus on one thing, what do you think you'd really want to put that focus?
This is such a dense question.
All right.
I It's okay. I like this. I like I said, I like to just I don't like surface level, so I'm okay with this. I feel that for one, I would be grateful that I was able to slow down. I need to slow down even more than I've slowed down now. Like I said, it's very difficult to build on chaos and sometimes speed is not the best thing. I'm learning. So I would slow down and I would live each day very, very, very presently. Like I'm saying, like constantly checking in with my bodily awareness and mentally and emotionally if I'm here. And I would focus on whatever is in front of me. So right now I have the student community and I have the holistic health and beauty company and I have the books. Oh shit, that is a lot. I don't know, girl. Don't make me choose. I'm I'm pretty sure I'm neurodivergent because I can't stay on one thing. Don't make me. I just want to pour my love into everything that I do. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
I love it. Just keep pouring the love in there because the truth of the matter is, I mean, I've got the real estate company. I do the podcast, which is
Yeah,
my favorite. I do the grief coaching,
yeah,
which I love, love, love helping people walk through the grief that I've been through, right?
yeah.
Trying to get them to the other side. And you know, I started using Gemini, which is like an AI, like a
Mhm.
chat GTP, right? So
Uh-huh.
I started using Gemini. And so I would ask it all the time, like I talk to it like a human. It's really scary. And I say, help me put together a schedule based on these things so that I can make
Mm,
sure I'm giving the right amount of time to each process. Because for me, I go, and most people, right? We go right to what we really love,
yeah,
right? But sometimes it's not that. We're avoiding the stuff that's tough that we don't. It's easier for me to just sit here and laugh with you and chat with you and go deep with you, right? And
yeah,
discover all these amazing things that Crystal says instead of calling a past client, say, hey, man, I know I haven't talked to you for 5 years or 15 years. You remember I'm still in real estate?
yeah,
Um, because a lot of the joy goes away from uh, things that are happening in real estate right now. So I get what you mean. It's hard to pick one. It's like, your dad probably you were your dad's favorite, but if you ask your dad which one of my 10 kids is my favorite, he'd say, "Oh, they're all my favorite," right?
yeah, exactly.
But it is tough, and
Yeah,
you are doing so much. Um, and like we said, it's tough to fight this alone. I love that phrase, man, build on chaos. Because
yeah,
isn't the world just like they want us in chaos? Whoever they are, right? They
yeah,
want us in chaos. They want us mad at each other. They want us unfocused. They want us not thinking. They just want us reacting. And you have to rise above that if you
yeah.
want to have anything.
Yeah. I mean, because it's easier to control someone who's in fear. That's what
Yeah.
cults use. They use fear as a control mechanism. And so if you could, like you said, I love that you said that just now, like rise above it, because that's what this is all about. It's burning all the stuff down to the ground that it's not love. That's why I feel like that whole Phoenix rising, like that analogy is so relevant to this experience in my life. And I'm sure you've experienced it in your own life. Maybe we go through several like phases of it as well, but I had to burn it all down. And it's kinda like burning gold in the fire, like any impurities, they fall away, it's important, so I'm like, "Okay, fire is a very alchemizing element, let's use it."
It is. I mean, I know fire can be dangerous, but fire is an incredible thing. It gives us
Yeah,
heat. It allows us to cook. It purifies our
mhm,
water, but also it cleanses. We worry about forest fires, but I mean, God sends forest fires down. It strikes lightning, so it can send a forest fire, so it clears the brush. All the seeds come out of the trees, and then you have this beautiful, fresh forest. So forest fires are not always a bad thing. God created them to help heal our forests and things like that. And sometimes I do believe, you know, like I've said to myself a million times, I'm burn this mofo down. I am sick of this bullshit. Excuse my language. I'm gonna burn this mofo down, you know, and I just get so intense about it because I'm
yeah,
so it's like how as stupid as this insignificant as this sounds, but it's not insignificant to me. Like I'll have a friend of mine that I've known for 10 or 12 years unfriend me because they don't like my political views. I'm like, dude, so basically you never ever liked me, right?
no,
You never ever. You couldn't possibly like me as a human if,
no,
one thing that I believe that's different from you makes you not want to talk to me anymore. So I'm
mm,
like, all right, I'm burning this mofo down,
yeah. Oh, you brought up
right?
such a good point. Like, I always feel like people will discover reasons to move out of your life and let them, like Mel Robbins says, let them. Just let people go. As you rise to new heights, people will fall off. It's like the jet being sent up to the moon. Like those things, some things have to fall off as you rise. So good, good. They cleared space.
I interviewed a gal who said to me, she goes, Gary, some relationships just have expiration dates
Mm,
and there's nothing you could do about it. It's just that relationship was meant to expire. And then
yes.
I look at my friends from high school from 1904, I think is when
Mm,
I graduated high school. So 100 years ago. Um, and I still have these, six super close friends. I mean, that
mm,
were just like more than friends. We're family, right? They've
mm,
been together for 50 years, It's like, and I think to myself, see, that'll never go away
mm,
until one of us dies.
yeah,
But, but some relationships just expire. And like you said, it clears space for what you need because the truth of the matter is, I don't care how many friends you have on Facebook or stuff like that. You only have so much space to give people, right?
mm,
And like you talked about earlier with about presence, you
yeah,
there's only so much you can give and so much you can do.
yeah. Absolutely. So I think it's like, what do they say? Quality over quantity. I'd rather
Yeah.
have a few good friends. And my sisters are my friends anyway. I'm still forming adult friendships. So I'm a struggle.
You're such an adult. Let's stop
Oh,
being an adult. Don't grow up. Trust me, it sucks. I'm 63. Just don't do it. It's no fun. That
wait, what the
reminds me.
heck? You're 63? No,
Yeah, I have a huge filter on. This isn't what I look like. I'm
stop
really old.
lying.
Really old.
You look good,
My,
Gary.
my makeup. Um, it reminds me of what I tell people all the time when people are fighting about stuff. And I
Yeah,
tell people, I told my kids this forever. It's like, look, dude, if I hand you a gift and you choose not to accept it, you don't take it from me, right?
yeah,
Who is actually holding the gift, right?
yeah,
I am. I'm still holding it. So if someone tries to hand you anger or hate, someone wants to give that to you and you choose not to accept it,
yeah,
well, who's still holding? the anger and the hate. They are. So just choose not to accept it. And I have a lot of friends say, "Oh, how could you not? The world is this. How could you not be angry about all this stuff?" I'm like, I just choose not to be,
Yeah.
right? Why
Mm.
choose anger and hate and division and why
Doesn't
choose
solve
that?
any it doesn't solve a single thing.
No, doesn't get us just like a rocking chair. It makes a
Yeah.
lot of motion, but it doesn't go anywhere. Um,
I've
so
never
what
heard
is
that, but it's
next?
true.
So what's next for you, my dear? I mean, we're gonna burn this mofo down. And you are going to when's the last time you took like a week and just put your feet in the sand or went up to the mountains, just completely got away and did nothing?
Gosh.
That's not good. That's a bad sign.
Oh,
If you don't
yeah.
remember,
Oh,
then it's been
wow.
too long.
No, why did you ask me that? Now my brain is like, "See, I told you we need to relax." And I'm like, "No."
Well, even if you go away, you're still there. Remember that. So no
Yeah.
matter where you go, you're still there, Crystal. So
Mhm, should be.
you have to go. No, I haven't gone away for a long time. I've had some weird stuff happen. I haven't gone away for a long time.
Yeah.
But, even if you could just sneak away, like I built this off a patio off my master bedroom. I built
Mm,
a Zen garden. I put this comfy little couch and I put these cool sayings and I put all the little Buddhas and I put my little trickling bamboo waterfall and of course I never go there. But I thought I'm gonna have this like sanctuary outside because in California the weather's nice except in the
mm,
summer here. And I thought I could sit there and I could work on getting quiet.
mm.
I didn't want to think about anything or I didn't want to read because I read all the time, but I just wanted to sit somewhere and be quiet. It's such a challenge. How tough is it for you to just sit with the way your mind works and just be quiet?
It's hard. Like you, I try to be intentional about it, but sometimes if I'm just sitting there, my brain is like, "You can't just sit here and do nothing." Like, what are we doing here? Like, I haven't found
Even your mind is messing with you. It's like, shut up, mind. I could do. Don't tell you're not the boss of me.
I've started talking back with my mind. I know that sounds crazy, but, like, I feel like you have to talk to yourself, and I'm learning on creating an inner dialogue that's more friendly, because I recognize that I was very mean to myself. Like, if I spoke to a friend the way I used to speak to myself, they would not be my friend. I would never speak to a child the way I used to speak to myself, so why would I speak to my own inner child like this? And so I've been working on intentionally working on reframing and restructuring that whole thing. So if it'll say like, "We can't just sit here and do nothing," I'm like, "Well, actually, what else are we gonna do?"
Right? We're here. We might
Yeah.
as well get healthy. It's funny. I journal a lot and I went through a weird phase of like really negative journaling, like
Mhm,
really hardcore, bad, negative stuff. And it was
mm,
so bizarre. It's just so unlike me.
mm,
Usually I'm thinking outward when I'm
mm,
journaling or things that have happened, whatever, but not anger like this was. So a good friend of mine's a crazy psychic. She'll be a world-renowned psychic one day.
mm,
She's amazing. And she said, I want you to take those journals. I want you to go in your backyard to the fire pit. I want you to light the fire pit and I want you to start tearing out these pages and throwing them in the fire.
yeah,
And as the ashes go up, I want you to bless them
mm,
and forgive the anger from what you did.
mm,
And then I want you to go take a bath in Epsom salts and just cleanse yourself because
mm,
you're not an angry person. She's known me since high school. She's known me
mm,
since high school for 40 years. So I did. It felt great. I tore out each page and I
mm,
threw it in the fire and I watched it burn and I blessed it and apologized and I started crying.
mm,
I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry that I treated you like that. You
yeah,
know, I don't know what made me treat you like that because you're all I have. And
mm,
I love you because we're all we have.
yeah, true. That's a beautiful practice as well. I love burning things that are no longer serving me.
I don't want to be one of your ex-boyfriends.
Those are already burned. All those pictures are
Yeah.
literally
But sometimes you gotta burn a mother down, that's all I'm
You
saying.
do. Because, like, if you think about it, it was a reflection of where I was internally. Like, of course, if I abandoned myself, if I was anxious, or if I was dealing with low self-worth, what type of relationship do you think I'm gonna attract or allow for that matter? So it's like, as you know better, you do better, for example. They may not have been a bad person, but it was not what I needed to grow. And like you said, every relationship, whether that's a friendship or a romantic relationship, they have an expiration date. Most of them do. So those long-term people that you have, that's a beautiful thing, but it doesn't always turn out that way. And so I'm okay now with change and letting go because I know, like you said, I have me. So whoever wishes to come in and out of my life, you're free to do whatever you want. Like I'm gonna love you while you're here and I'm gonna love you while from a distance. Either way, it doesn't change the fact that the love was real while you were in my life. And however people want to move out of my life, I've never kicked anyone out. Maybe I should have, but however people want to move out of my life, you're free. You're free, because 'cause I'm free, so
Like to tell people, when I let people go out of my life, I say, "I love you, I
Yeah.
bless you, and I set you free."
Yes.
There's no anger to it. I'm
No.
just I it's not healthy for
Mm.
you to be here, and I'm just gonna bless you and love you and set you free. Where does with a lot of the stuff you've been through, whether it's for yourself or for others, where does trust come into you? How well do you deal with trust?
God, I just made a video about this today. That
I'll
is
have to
funny.
watch it, I guess.
No, I'm doing this whole TikTok thing, man. Like, I'm the older, I'm the older generation on TikTok, and and so I'm like, "Okay, let's try this whole TikTok thing." And so I made a video about how I'm recognizing the importance of self-trust in relationships, and you're a lot better than me, Gary. If someone is not for me, I'll just block them. And, like, I'm getting better at vocalizing the offense, but when you're intentionally harming someone. So if you're doing that to me, I'm not gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. Like, you're blocked. You're done. Like you expired. Your time in my life has expired. So
Your time in my life has expired.
yeah, but I'm getting better at communicating those things before they even get there. So I've never had a lot of people around me. I've always been a loner. I feel comfortable in my own company. I love spending time with myself. So having friendships and relationships was never really a big thing for me because I like my own company. And so I'm learning now that I can trust myself in relationships. Like if someone is, crossing a boundary, I trust myself now to say, hey, this is affecting me in this way, and not just staying silent because I don't want to piss this person off, which is what I did for most of my life is as a former people pleaser. I've let people cross lines and I've let people hurt me. And so my mind thinks if you're in a relationship with someone, whether that is a friendship or a romantic relationship, they're gonna hurt you. And so now I'm in my first kind of healthy relationship. It's my first grown up relationship, I say, of 4.5 years together with my current boyfriend, and I'm still learning how to accept love that is built on respect. Sometimes I'm still questioning, like, what are you gonna do? Or like, when is he gonna hurt me? Like, I'm still kind of like watching, like, and that's not good. That's not good.
Well, it's a challenge for the relationship,
Yeah.
and but it's a natural thing, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like, well, when does this all end, right? And the thing about trust is, I feel the same. I'm like, dude, I will discuss anything with anyone.
Yeah.
I respect your views. They may not be mine, but I'm not going to freak out about them. And if you don't respect mine, well, that's okay too. Well, let's just talk about something else or let's go do something else. Let's not
Yeah.
get on that topic that makes you hate me, right? So,
Yeah.
but more and more, I'm like, people go out of their way to now be hurtful because they can, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I don't remember which one of the Caesars said it, but when when the argument is lost, people turn to insults.
Yes.
because they can no longer communicate as a human.
Yeah.
So they start cutting. And
Yeah.
it's like, why am I sitting here allowing you to cut me?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. I was a people pleaser too. I still am to an extent, but I've
But it's not as
at
bad
my
as
age
it used
less.
to
Right?
be.
Because I just don't like people that much. I don't. I'm
Takes a
like,
lot of
I love
energy.
it. It does. I love to be by myself. My
Mm,
new wife, my current wife, is a
mm,
scuba instructor, and she travels around the world. She's leaving next week to go to the Philippines for 2 weeks, and then she's going on to, and people go, "Well, aren't you sad? I mean, what type of relationship is that? Don't you miss your wife?" I'm like, "Hell no! Are you kidding me? I got the house to myself. I'm cooking whatever I want. No." Oh, hey, you're only gone 2 weeks? Can't you go 3 weeks? It's like, get out of
I feel this on a soul level. My boyfriend is German, so we met when I was studying abroad. I was studying spiritual consciousness in Bali, Indonesia, and he was there working online, and we connected. And he's German, like 100% the most German you would ever want to meet. I think the universe has a
Achtung,
sense.
baby.
Like, I'm like, universe, I asked for this, and this, and you send all of it wrapped in a German package. What are you doing? What are we
Dude,
doing?
you're bringing schnitzel right home, bro. All right? No, I
Oh,
didn't ask for schnitzel. Oh my
wasn't
God, that's funny.
specific with the nationality. I wasn't. I just wanted someone that respected me and loved me for who I am and who was going to stay. And he is 100% that type of person. Like if we get into an argument, he'll pull up a chair and be like, I'm not leaving until you talk. And I had like a crazy history of avoiding like confrontation. I hate it. I'm like, I rather save my energy. I shut down when things start, getting too intense. And he will not allow that. And so I feel like when he's not there, because he's German, so he lives in Germany most of the time, and he can stay in the US for like 3 months, I think is as long as he can stay. So when he's not here, we're not together. I'm just like chilling. Like my apartment is so chill, and he'll call and he'll be like, "I know you're doing your favorite hobby, which is chilling." Like he's like everyone is like, "Crystal, you've done X, Y, and Z," and he's like, "You're the laziest person I know," and I'm like, "You know my secret. I conserve my energy."
I love that. There's nothing better than someone who can call your shit because that means they love you, right?
He
I
does.
mean, that's it. It's like, it's something about that. It's like my friends, it's like the good, good, deep friends.
Yeah.
They're like, dude, seriously, come on. You can bullshit everybody else, but you can't bullshit me.
It used to trigger me in the beginning because I'm just like, "Why are you so unimpressed?" He's like, "No." I like you said, it's good to have people on your team like that. And the fact that you have friends like that, I know it's worth its weight in gold. Like
Man,
it's something like spoken about having people who just see you and love you for who you are. Like even talking about it makes me a little bit choked up, but it's a gift.
it is a
Yeah.
gift. Well, you're a gift, my friend. We've been
Oh,
going
thank
on
you.
here for a while.
I
You are a gift. Are a gift. But you're wonderful. This has been such a beautiful conversation.
yeah.
A lot of the things that you said and brought up were so beautiful. And I'm just grateful you were here. But I did lie earlier because I'm a dude. We lie.
Okay.
I said I just had one question,
Yeah.
the what if you could question, but I actually have two questions.
Okay.
And I don't give you the second question. I give you the what if you could question, but I don't ever give away the second question because I
Okay.
kind of want it to come from the heart.
Okay.
So if there was something you'd like to leave us with, a thought, a quote, something that meant something to Crystal and her heart that you'd like to leave everybody with before we signed off, what would that last thought be?
There are so many things coming up all at once. They're all trying to jump for their spot, and I'm like, chill.
Bring them all. Bring every one of them.
The first thing that came up was know thyself because that was the original wisdom and insight that brought me on this journey of self-discovery, this 8-year journey. To know thyself is the beginning of wisdom. Um, and that has served me at every point in my life, at every single point. And so that was the first thing. And the second thing that came up was you are enough. Because as you start that journey, you'll start looking for ways to fix yourself and read books and watch podcasts and buy courses. And you'll want to figure out why am I so broken? But no, your spiritual DNA is perfect. You had a normal response to abnormal situations and you're learning to return to center. So I would leave with that.
I love all of those. I love all of those. Return to center, know thyself. Um, but we're so afraid to know ourselves. It's
Yeah.
such a scary thing to really go and take a hard look at yourself and say, dude, kind of like what we talked about. Wow,
Mhm.
you could bullshit everybody else, but bro, you got some issues, and to really know thyself and really expose yourself to
Yeah.
you. It's not easy, huh?
No, and I will say I know I don't wanna get off on a tangent because I could talk to you all night, but I think that that
I got
wisdom
nowhere to go.
no, like, I don't think you can know yourself. I think that wisdom is to ignite the journey, the initiate. Like, I feel like it's the beginning of a lifelong journey of facing inward. Like, there's this, wisdom from the Bible that says, what was it? "The kingdom of heaven is within." Like, that was the gospel of Christ. And I truly believe that the same wisdom comes through the saying, "Know thyself," because when you find out who you are, you discover the kingdom. And the kingdom is endless. Like there's no end to like your soul is as deep as the ocean, if not deeper. Like imagine that. We haven't even explored every part of the ocean. Imagine so there's no way you can know yourself, but it orientates you to a different direction instead of relying on the external. You're now powered by this internal source. So that's why I think that wisdom is important. But you can't know yourself.
Love that. And being a diver myself, my wife and I are both divers. She just gets to go
Mm,
do it more. I think about the ocean all the time that we could
mm,
supposedly go into Mars and go out into space, but we've never really explored the entire ocean of our own planet because the
yeah.
depth and this power of it. But the other thing is, aren't we a miracle, Crystal? I
Oh
mean,
God.
think about that. Why are we so tough on ourselves when we're such a God-given miracle? I mean, think about it. How
Yes,
did
I
we
do
do
all
this,
the time.
right? It's like, how do we have all this? How does everything work in order? How do
Right.
we taste stuff? How do we smell stuff? How do we feel stuff?
Yes.
And how do we retain stuff? I mean, we'll never forget hitting the bottom of the ocean. We'll never hit the bottom of our brain. We
Right.
use 5% of our brain. Some people don't use any of their brain. But isn't it really, we're such a miracle, yet we beat the crap out of ourselves. And sometimes you got to sit back and go, dude, you're a miracle.
Yeah, yeah. I just realized this, Garrett. Everything that you're saying right now, I just realized that this week. I'm like, "Girl, like, you really, like, have you seen yourself?" Like like,
Have you seen yourself? I mean, seriously,
no.
you're
I literally pray and I ask God, "Can you please help me see myself the way that you see me?" That is one of my constant prayers, and also, like, affirming, like, I am a perfect physical manifestation of love. I'm a perfect physical manifestation of God, and just really sitting in that, and I believe that we're taught not to like ourselves. We're taught how to be so hard on ourselves, and I was raised in the South in a Christian Baptist church, so, like, I was basically taught that I was born into sin, like, my whole birth was a mistake, and I'm just like, "Why would God make me this way? Like, why would you do that?"
I don't think he did, man. I mean, you can hear that stuff all you want, but I'll tell you what, I don't he if God made us in a vision of himself, the
Mm,
image of himself, then how could we be wrong? I mean, how could we be bad? How could but and then when you step back, right? When you think about Crystal
yeah,
and you think about how many people your age who are sitting on their ass living in their mom's basement, not doing a dang thing, not
mm,
trying even. I mean, we've lost a generation of people who don't even try. And
mhm,
yet here you are with so much achievement and consistent achievement. You just keep doing more. You're truly amazing, yet you beat the crap out of yourself. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, I'm pretty
wait a
bad.
minute. Dude, cut me some slack. I'm pretty good, man. I'm pretty cool.
Well, a lot of that came out of, like, not feeling enough. So I thought, like, "Okay, if I prove that I'm competent, if I prove that I'm smart, then I'll feel like I fit in." I never fit in. I won't fit. I've accepted the fact that I'm a weirdo, and that's okay. Like, I'm totally fine with that because the opposite of trying to conform and contort myself into a box, and I'm not that. Like, I can't even figure myself out. I'm not gonna let you put me in a box. Like, I'm not gonna let you cut my wings before I learn how to fly, so I'm taking my power back, and this is that season for me.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love that so much, man. I interviewed a guy named John Brink. Have you heard of
Mm,
John Brink? Have you talked to John Brink?
mm,
You should go on his
no, mm-mm.
podcast. He's 83 years old. His book's right up there. Oh, that's right up there.
Oh,
I don't know how many books he has now. He came here with no money. He loves to hold up the sign that says like $25.13. He came here, uh, I don't know, 60 years ago, whatever. Ended up in Canada. Now he's the CEO of this huge conglomerate, right? Lumber, homes. I mean, he's very wealthy. Um, and now he loves podcasts. He still runs his companies at 83, and he's a bodybuilder. He was one of the oldest Arnold Schwarzenegger championship bodybuilders at 80. And he
what?
still is like, dude is ripped, right? And he wrote a book about ADHD was his superpower. And it
Mm,
took him 50 years to realize that he had ADHD.
mm,
And he was like, "No wonder I was so different than everybody else, right? No wonder I had this superpower and I had this drive." And
yeah.
people would look at me like I'm crazy because I
Yes.
wanted to do something, right? And it's like, well, it made sense to me, but it didn't make sense to anybody else because I thought so differently. And
Yeah.
now he looks at his ADHD as a superpower. And I
Mhm,
think, when we give all these kids medication because they're hyperactive or they're whatever, and we start dumbing down our children. We start over medicating everybody because they don't act like we think they should act, right? It's
mm.
like you're killing the gift of uniqueness. Like I said earlier, you do not want to spend much time in my brain. Don't go in my head, Crystal. You'll
I
be
just
traumatized. But
I'm in
don't you think
trauma.
that?
Yeah.
Don't you think that we need to
Mhm.
embrace our uniqueness and not try to damp it down for someone else's satisfaction?
Absolutely, you're basically reading my whole journal right now, like, you're talking about everything that the journal about
Well, I'm glad we met.
yeah, me too. Because 'cause I'm honestly like, you feel like you're alone in this, like, you feel like you're the only one that's experiencing life in this way, and it's like, no, there are people who also understand what it's like to feel different, for their mind to just constantly be running, like, it's it's so isolating to not talk about this, so I'm grateful for this podcast, I'm grateful that you have built this space because I do think I have ADHD. I'm almost certain, I just haven't got tested because I'm afraid of that title for some because of the negative, like, messaging you receive, like you said, the dumbing down of it, like, it's like, "Oh, there's a person who's different, let's make them normal." And the way people used to look at me growing up as if I had 3 hits when I would say something, and I'm just like, "Okay, universe, now you want me to speak publicly?" Like, if people were already looking at me weird. So it's like I have to go back to little Crystal and the journey.
I love little Crystal, man. She's a badass. Little Crystal's a badass. But imagine, I mean, I'll let you go. I just love talking to you,
No,
but I
it's
mean,
okay.
imagine all of the things that would never have been created in the world had we not had someone be crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
one of my favorite books is Think Like Da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci was freaking drawing submarines and airplanes 500 years ago. The dude was drawing things that would never even everyone thought he was insane with some of the stuff that he was drawing and he was trying to create, 500 years ago, Leonardo da Vinci and some of the things that he did. Michelangelo, the story of the David, if,
Yeah.
people look at the David and go, yeah, it's a nice sculpture. But when you know the story behind the David, it's a fascinating story. And so all these great minds throughout history, right? Imagine where we'd be if those people didn't say, well, I don't care what you think. I know I sound batshit crazy, but I'm doing it anyways, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, the gal who, I mean, it was a gal who created the internet.
Yes,
Um,
Laura, not Laura, Ava something. I
yeah.
just read her story not too long ago because I saw her in a movie. She was an actress as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so there's so many things. She could have just been a dumb actress, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
and especially in that period of time when she was an actress, it was not great to be a chick actress.
Like
They were like,
50s or
"You-"
40s or something like this.
yeah, they were abused. But
Yeah.
anyways, my dear, you're amazing.
Oh, you are
I
too,
can't
Gary.
wait till you burn that mofo down, man. Right? Because
Excited.
what you're gonna build is gonna be fracking crazy. It's gonna be so
I'm
awesome.
so
I'm gonna look back and say, I talked to that chick one day. I did. No one will believe me. It's like, "You did not. Shut up." I'll go, "Look, I got recorded."
you have I was saying you have proof now. No, I wanna do cool shit with cool people. I wanna build with people who wanna build too. And I'm excited because I had so much fear in the beginning, and my coach was the last person to say this to me, but he was like, "Look how much you've built with your foot on the brakes and the gas at the same time. Imagine what you're gonna build." And I was like, "Oh, don't hype me up. Don't hype me up." So I have to allow myself to be free, and that's been so difficult to allow to not feel like something's wrong with me. But like I said, this week, when I had my little breakdown in therapy, I was like, "Okay, we're moving stuff."
I love that. And isn't that such a great analogy? It's like
Yeah.
you're pressing the gas and the brake at the same freaking time. And
Yes.
that doesn't make sense, right? But you're doing it anyways. It's
Yeah.
so bizarre.
Yeah. Oh, Gary, you're amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, this was
Thank you.
fun. All right, Crystal, where can people, everybody, once again, we've been blessed with a little bit of time with Dr. Crystal T. Harrell. She's a #1 best-selling author, motivational speaker, and certified mindfulness-based stress reduction instructor. Her best-selling book is Crystal Clear. And the next book she's going to write is I Burned This Mofo
Very close. It's about the butterfly
Down.
transformation, which do you know the butterfly, the caterpillar turns into soup, like a goop before it becomes a butterfly?
I totally went there with this person because I read the metamorphosis. There was this little thing I read about the metamorphosis of the butterfly, and people do not realize how painful
It is.
it is
Mhm.
to go from the caterpillar to butterfly. And
Yeah.
you do, you become a big pile of goo. And some don't make it to become the butterfly. And so I was talking to this chick and I said, you know what? I'm goo right now. I am
Mhm.
Gary Goo. I am deep in the goo,
Yeah.
right? But I know now
Mm.
that I'm in the goo. I
Yes.
thought I was just like a diamond covered in poop, but I'm not.
Mm.
I am in the goo, which means that's why it's so painful right now.
Mm.
But I know I'm just growing my wings,
Yes.
right? And I love that you brought that up because I
Mm.
love that, man. I'm just gonna get a, a picture of goo and put it on
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
wall. Let's just go.
Just just so you know what's on the other side, because the DNA of the butterfly is in that goo. Like, I don't know if I haven't read the article on it, but I've heard that if you test that goo, that the DNA of the butterfly exists within that goo. And I'm like, "Yeah, so you already have the cells of that
Right?
transformation. It's the restructuring and all this other
And
stuff."
I'm like looking at it, I'm like, is it like
Yeah.
lime green or is there some
Yeah.
purple in it? I mean, what does
Beautiful.
my goo look like, right? I got some good looking glue and
Yeah.
some goo. I mean, I am one sexy goo bitch right now. I am a
Yes.
sexy pile of goo.
Yes.
And when I come out of it, I'm just finally like,
Yes.
yeah, and I'm just gonna fly over people I don't like and just poop, right? Just like it's only butterfly poop. It does how much can it hurt, right? It's
It
not
does hurt a lot.
it
No,
doesn't.
because the butterfly still has its own journey to go through. Like, the butterfly is now like, moving, it goes through so many different phases that the caterpillar can never see because it's on the ground, but the butterfly now has a new awareness, it can reach new heights, so you are already that. You're just witnessing the unfolding of it.
You too, girlfriend. You
Yeah.
too. You too. We're gonna fly away to wherever our dreams are with it. So,
Mhm.
all right, my friend, I need to ask you one last question. So,
Okay.
where can people get more Crystal Herrera? Where can we find you? Where can we find your websites, your books, all your stuff? Where can we find you?
My website is my main hub. That's, crystaltharrell.com, and there I have all the links to my socials except for my TikTok, but my TikTok is Crystal T. Harrell, PhD. Or you can just search Dr. Crystal, because I've been uploading since November, and I'm finally finding my voice. Like, it was Miles Davis who said, "Sometimes, man, it takes a long time to sound like yourself." And I'm finally sounding like myself after all these years.
And you are good. That self is good. And I know, don't make me cry. See, I'm gonna make myself cry
I
today.
know, don't
Uh,
do it. I
I
promise you I
know.
won't cry.
I just know that little baby Crystal is looking up and going, I knew you could. I told you. I
Stop, Gary,
always
come on.
believed in you. I always believed in you, Crystal. And now, look at you now, baby Crystal. Look, I'm
We went through this whole interview, we were good.
all right, man. Wow. I wish I had to sit down again.
We
I lost all control of my senses.
went through this whole interview and we were fine. I was like, "Ooh." You're like, "Okay, we're at the end." I was like, "Oh, no tears." And then this.
Oh, you're the best. All right, my friend. Everybody, please go to drcrystaltharrell.com. You got to get the best-selling book, Crystal Clear. Go on to TikTok, find all these amazing things. But you ain't seen nothing yet. So thank you, my dear. This has been a true joy.
Thank you, Gary. Bless you. You're amazing. Thank you. Thank
Thanks, guys. I'll see ya.